Here's a few images that shape my style, and I'm going to go through this. There's simplicity and decisive moments and interesting light and all these wonderful things here. And it all helped me evolve. I was walking through Rittenhouse Square one day, and I've worked there so many times. And frankly, I've never seen this light again. So when I saw it, I said to myself, Self, this is pretty cool. You got to make a picture here. And I stopped the bride, and it wasn't exactly posed, but it wasn't exactly candid either. And I wouldn't describe my style as purely photojournalistic, by the way. It's an artistic interpretation of the day with the best of the traditional elements mixed in. That's really kind of what I do. But this light, very, very early on in my career, really was something that I was very excited about, because I learned that there's texture, dimension, and mood that I can create with interesting light. One of the first weddings I did, I learned that shooting into light can also create this even indoors. The other was outside. But here, as you can see, the little girl looking at her aunt who's getting married, and that's where the hand is coming in from. That's her aunt getting married. That's the bride. And I shot directly into that light. I still have detail in the face. It's not completely silhouetted. It's not completely blown out. But shooting into this light allowed me to understand that breaking the rules so that the light is not just to my back and falling directly on the subject, similar to this image, it creates texture and dimension. And I really enjoyed the fact that I can play with light like this. It was essential to the creative process for me. Another image that really struck me and developed my style in the creative process was this image here. And everybody does the walking picture with the bride and groom. It's no revelation to do such. So I had the bride and groom, and they're walking towards me, and snap, 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 snap. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw this couple. And they were on this bench. And one couple, and they were like, hey, baby, remember when we were like that years ago, And I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I just stepped aside and let it happen. And I got this in one frame. The juxtaposition, to me, was something very special. And a friend of mine complimented me. He said he thought it looked like a Duino image. And Duino is one of my all-time heroes. Photographically, he is wonderful. And I could see it, and I was pretty proud of it. So I also understood early on that the photojournalistic process needs to be incorporated into my work. And I've been a photojournalist for a long time. I shot 6,000 assignments with the Philadelphia Inquirer. I think that qualifies me as being someone experienced in photojournalism. But as my mom said, you can take the boy out of the Bronx, but you can't take the Bronx out of the boy. And what I mean by that is, you can take me out of photojournalism, but you can't take the photojournalism out of me. While I'm a wedding photographer now, first and foremost, there is a photojournalistic aspect, big time, to what I do. This image here, it's direct, harsh light, 2 o'clock in the afternoon in June. So when I took this picture and I saw the results, I said, you know what, heck, I can make it work at 2 o'clock in June. As wedding photographers, we all know, and I'm gonna do another Kelby training class on harsh light and how to deal with that. We all know that you can't pick your times of day. You can't tell mom, Mrs. Smith, I'm really sorry, but you can't have your ceremony at 11 a.m. because I'm not taking pictures of your daughter at 12:30. I mean, you just can't do it. So if you have to shoot at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the summer, tough. You got to deal with it, but learn how to do it. These are just some other images early on in my career, again, that really helped develop my style and helped develop the creative process for me. Love this picture. It's right after they saw each other for the first time. It's 1:30 in the afternoon in the month of May. And again, it's real. The moment's real. What is not completely candid is the fact that I put them in the situation. I put them in the best lighting situation and the best compositional scenario and just let it happen from there. This is the holy grail of light for me. This is what I try to do. Take your subject, put it between you and the sun, backlighting them beautifully, exposed properly. Okay, we'll talk about exposures in a second. And you get that beautiful rim. This is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The other was about 2 or 3. Same principle of sort, except now when the sun gets a little lower in the sky, I can start to use this light directionally. When it gets a little lower in the sky, it gets a little bit softer and a little bit buttery, and I can use it. Anytime light. I can make this picture anytime. Anytime. With a dark enough background and directional light. Okay? You can find good pictures anywhere. You can even find good pictures in New Jersey. Okay? This quote from Elliot Erwitt inspired the heck out of me, and this was taken at the Borgata Hotel. So this was, incidentally, when I was working at the Philadelphia Inquirer, we had this up in our darkroom, because I worked in the South Jersey bureau of the Philadelphia Inquirer. And so we used to kid ourselves, there's no good pictures in Jersey. And one of my friends found this quote, all right, and told a friend of mine who kept bitching and moaning about not being able to make pictures, shut the hell up and make pictures. Because even Elliot Erwitt says that. The thing that's important to know is that you never know. You just sort of feel on your way, and the creative process works that way. Remember I said you never have a plan. Never have a plan. This image here, one of my favorite images from '06, during a ceremony, and someone actually said to me at a seminar, so when was that? Was that afterwards and you kind of set that up? And hell no. This is during the actual ceremony. And what I had trouble with, and the reason why I use that quote, you're always sort of feeling your way, if you notice there's a light behind the bride. And I was having trouble because I was bobbing, I was weaving, and I kept getting flare because that light was so hot and so harsh because it's illuminating the Virgin Mother, okay? Nice Jew boy. I know the terms, okay? So the light was giving me a little bit of a hard time, but once I bobbed and I weaved and I felt my way and I blocked that light with my subject, I got this beautiful rim of light. And I made one of my very favorite images of that year. So you just never know. It could happen on an image that's completely unexpected. Hey, I made a picture. I made a picture. Quick story about making a picture. I'll be really brief. This may get cut out, may not, but I want to tell you this story. I have a consult with this bride. New consult. She comes into the studio, and she says to me, she asked me the question, very legitimate. Cliff, you shoot so many weddings. How do you stay motivated? And I told her what I told you earlier. I get up in the morning and I say, today, I'm going to make a picture. And I motivate myself to do the best damn job that I can. Not really for you, but for me. I work my ass off to make great pictures. But I do it because not only do I want to please you, I want to please myself. That's important. I take pride in it. Later on in the day, she had a meeting with the videographer that she was going to choose. Videographer calls me and said, dude, what the hell happened? The first half of the meeting, you had her. And then she says to me, I was going to hire him, but I don't want just one picture at my wedding. I'm not kidding. True story. So I told that same story the next week and I booked her. So she got it. The other bride didn't. It's a true story. So made a picture that day.